Hey, so today I want to talk about emptying your head. Look, I know you run a business, I run a business, and there's always a million things to do, and there's always a lot of stuff in our head. And the danger is for many of us, and many of the people we talk to, is they try and keep them in their head, and it kind of consumes us. So a practice I still use today and have recommend all my clients do is an exercise in emptying your head. And it's as simple as it sounds. I'm not talking about meditation or trying to quiet your mind or anything clever. I'm literally meaning just take all the stuff that's floating around in there and extract it and put it somewhere so that you can reference it later. I don't care if it's write a manual list. I don't care if you put it into circles. I don't care if you categorize it or however you do it, but empty your head. I like to use an application called Trello. Just Google it, trello.com, just because it works for me. It's digital, it's retained, I can drag and drop, I can archive, I can put it into lists. I find that works really, really well. Coming back a step, why is it a problem? When your head is full, it is very difficult to create space to be able to focus, to be effective on other things. Where I was guilty of this when I was always working mentally. I was never present for family, for friends, for staff. There's always something else in your head, and you're only ever giving the person or the thing in front of you a small percentage of yourself rather than actually being present and useful. And if it gets too full or the list gets too long, you get to the point of verging on overwhelm, and you start wasting a lot of time. Sounds stupid, but remembering not to forget. Time and energy, and you touch all these things mentally in your head, but actually do nothing with them, and are very, very ineffective and unproductive. So it doesn't serve you to keep this stuff in your head. So the exercise, find somewhere where you're going to be uninterrupted, no phones, no interruptions, no people, no staff, no kids, no anything, no computer. Or certainly turn all the alerts off if you're going to be recording stuff digitally. Give yourself a whole half hour to extract what's in your head and just empty it in terms of a big list. Use the whole half hour. It'll start slowly, then there'll be a big rush, and then it'll taper off, and then there'll be a few more towards the end. Is certainly my experience, but give yourself that full window to try and get it all out. It'll do. Then the fun part is putting it into 4 categories. So the first one is don't do. Cross them out. They've been sitting there for ages, you've been touching them for ages, you've been meaning to do them for ages. Actually, they're not that important. They're not going to make any difference. Get rid of them. The second one is delegate. Who else in your team can do this for you? For me, I just write down and put the initial of whoever I'm going to pass that on to next to each of those items. The third one is do now. Give yourself another half hour, and there'll be a whole bunch of those things. It's a quick phone call, it's a quick email, it's a quick response that you can just get rid of. And then the fourth category is to schedule or defer. So you've still got them retained, all the information's there. That's when I'd start putting those larger things that I'm going to do later into a diary and starting to plan them. When you've done this though, you have got it all captured, you've got it all recorded, you don't have to remember not to forget anymore, and you've got somewhere you can go back to as and when you realise you've got some space and some capacity to pick up some of those things that you haven't already scheduled. I still do this on a weekly basis. You will feel massively lighter mentally. You will start to achieve more. Your team and your family will certainly appreciate the fact that you're not mentally absent the whole time. Really, really good practice. Help you feel lighter, help you get a lot more done. So that's the tip for today. Empty your head, and I do it on a regular basis. At least once a month when you're starting. If this is a new thing, once a week is usually pretty good practice. That's it for today. I'll talk to you next time.